blushing, you got sweet concussion. Oh, you miss my touching, good too. Show me something, give me more than one thing. I need more than less than I do. Say you a good guy, make me believe it. Don't wanna hear it.
Welcome
I wanna see
to the G Spot. I'm your host, Dr. G. Alvin Palmer. Cheers.
So nice, I can't help that the sweet talk. I'm my way. I'm pulling up to be late. I'm cutting through all the lanes. Sweet talk, you don't need to say this to me. No need for no flowers, babe. I'm already on my way. On my way. We've been dancing all night long. Riding with you way too long. Don't want nothing here now. But I'm done waiting. Done wasting time. I'm already on my way. I'm pulling up to
Gonna get started real soon.
I'm cutting through all the lanes. Sweet talk. You don't need to say this to me. I need for no flowers, babe. I'm already on my way. On my way. Talk to me nice, talk to me honestly. Look in my eyes, don't let it fall on me. Say you're a good guy, make me believe it. Don't wanna hear it, I wanna see it. See how rewind, when we rewind, feels so nice. We time, you I know how to make me feel right. I can't help that sweet talk. I'm already on my way. I'm pulling up, don't be late. I'm cutting through all the lanes. Sweet talk, you don't need to say this to me. No need for no flowers, babe. I'm already on my way. On my way. Why you blushing? You got sweet concussion. Oh, you miss my touching, good too. Show me something, give me more than one thing. I need more than less than I do. Say you're a good guy, make me believe it. Don't wanna hear it, I wanna see it. See how rewind. It feels so nice, I can't help that the sweet talk. I'm already on my way. I'm pulling up, don't be late. I'm cutting through all the lanes. Sweet talk, you don't need to say this to me. No need for no flowers, babe. I'm already on my way. On my way. We've been dancing all night long. Riding with you way too long. Don't want nothing here now. But I'm done waiting. Done wasting my time. Sweet talk. I'm already on my way. I'm pulling up, don't be late. I'm cutting through all the lanes. Sweet talk. You don't need to say this to me. No need for no flowers, babe. I'm already on my way. On my way. Talk to me nice, talk to me honestly. Look in my eyes, don't let it fall on me. Say you're a good guy, make me believe it. Don't wanna hear it, I wanna see it. See how how to make me feel right. I can't help that this sweet talk. I'm already on my way. I'm pulling up, don't be late. I'm cutting through all the lanes. Sweet talk, you need to say less to me. Don't even know flowers.
All right, sweet talk. Welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I'm glad you're here with me today. We're going to get started in a few minutes. Tell somebody about G-Spot. Welcome.
I wanna see it. See rewind. It feels so nice. I can't help that sweet talk. I'm already on my way. I'm pulling up, don't be late. I'm cutting through all the lanes. Sweet talk. You need to say this to me. Don't even know flowers, babe. I'm already on my way. We've been dancing all night long. Right here with you way too long. Don't want nothing here now. But I'm done waiting. Done wasting my time. Sweet talk. I'm already on my way. I'm pulling up, don't be late. I'm cutting through all the lanes. Sweet talk. You need to say this to me. Don't even know flowers, babe. I'm already on my way. On my way. Sweet talk. Sweet talk. Talk to me nice, talk to me honestly. Look in my eyes, don't let it fall on me. Say you're a good guy, make me believe it. Don't wanna hear it, I wanna see it. See how rewind, when we rewind, feels so nice. We time, you I know how to make me feel right. I can't help that sweet talk. I'm already on my way. I'm pulling up, don't be late. I'm cutting through all the lanes. Sweet talk, you need to say this to me. Don't even know flowers, babe. I'm already on my way. On my way. Why you blushing? Yeah, sweet concussion. Oh, you miss my touching. Show me something, give me more than one thing. I need more than love. I do. Say you're a good guy, baby, baby, baby. I wanna hear it, I wanna see it. See how rewind. It feels so nice. I can't help that sweet talk. All the lanes, sweet talk. You need to say this to me. Don't even know flowers, babe. I'm already on my way. On my way. We've been dancing all night long. Right here with you way too long. Don't want nothing here now. Done waiting, done wasting my time. I'm already on my way. I'm pulling up, don't be late. I'm cutting through all the lanes. Sweet talk, you need to say this to me. Don't even know flowers, babe. I'm already on my way. On my way. Sweet talk, sweet talk. how to make me feel right. I can't help that this sweet talk. I'm already on my way. I'm pulling up, don't be late. I'm cutting through all the lanes. Sweet talk, you don't need to say this to me. Don't need for no flowers, babe. I'm already on my way, on my way. Why you blushing? Yeah, sweet concussion. Oh, you miss my touching. Good deal. Show me something. Give me more than one thing. I need more than less than I do. Say you're the guy. Make me believe it. Don't wanna hear it. I wanna see it. See rewind. Rewind. It feels so nice. I can't help that this sweet talk. I'm already on my way. I'm cutting through all the lanes. Sweet talk. You don't need to say this to me. No need for no flowers, babe. I'm already on my way. On my way. We've been dancing all night long. Riding with you way too long. Don't want nothing here now. But I'm done waiting. Done wasting my time. Sweet talk. I'm already on my way. I'm pulling up, don't be late. I'm cutting through all the lanes. Sweet talk. You don't need to say this to me. No need for no flowers, babe. I'm already on my way. On my way. Sweet talk. Sweet
Well. Thanks for coming. Thank you for visiting the G Spot. I'm your host, Dr. G. Alfred Palmer, and I am glad to be here one more time. Come on, get it. Come on in. Come on in. We want to talk. Come on in. Like that. Come on. I'm glad you're coming. Come on in. Check us out. I'm excited. I'm really excited about our topic tonight and about you being here with me. Really excited about it. We're about ready to get started. I'm looking forward to it. And again, cheers to you. All right. Well, let's do this. Let's do it. Let's get underway. I'm glad you're here for another session on the G Spot. It's been a tremendous day, a real busy day for me. Um, I have a lot on my plate, but full of vision. The important thing for a man is to have vision. You hear that, fellas? You've got to have vision. Now, the question is, where does vision come from? Vision comes from the Creator because the Creator creates the vision inside of you. Now, how do you go about fulfilling the vision? You get to work. You get to work. And yeah, it's going to be a lot of days that you're not going to sleep a lot. It's going to be a lot of days that you forget to eat. I do it all the time. Forget to eat. But if you're going to fulfill the reason why you were born, because that's what purpose is. Purpose is the reason that you were born, why you were here. That's food in and of itself, really. But anyway, I am so grateful. You know, that's one of the things that I think many people fail to recognize and to express a mentality and a spirit of being grateful, gratitude. Just being grateful for where you are. Not so much what you don't have, not concentrating on what you don't have or what you can't do, but grateful for the things that you can do and the things that you do have. That's what gratitude is. Gratitude is being able to say, thank you. You know, and gratitude is not asking for anything, but just saying how much you appreciate that which you have. That's what gratitude is. But we're so busy asking, wanting more, self-focused and looking for self-gratification that we can't even see the forest for the trees. My, you're blessed. You're fortunate. You're lucky, whatever you want to call it. You really are. Regardless of what anybody thinks or says, you are blessed, favored. Being favored doesn't mean that you get everything you want. But if you really look at it, do you have the things you need? Think about that. Do you have what you need? Now, when you look at things that you need, it's important that you really concentrate on that word need. Something that's needful is something that without it, it would really uh, affect your life. Adversely, it will affect your life. So when you ask yourself about your needs, do you have your needs? Most of us do. The vast majority of us do. And so we need to learn how to be grateful in that regard. I talk about that in my book, Purpose Pearls. This one here. Purpose is the Purpose Pearls of Wisdom. It's a daily devotion. I talk about the provisions of purpose, and one of them is through gratitude we are able to express and to gain access to even more. Access is so important. People want to be kings, but you know what? Rather than be a king, what we think own, which they don't, but rather than have ownership, I'd rather have access and let the owner tend to all the maintenance requirements, the lawfulness of whatever it is. All I need to do is have access. That's all I want. So don't seek things, positions. Seek access. Okay. Yes. Welcome. Again, I'm so glad. You know, I have been thinking about something that has happened recently in over social media, and what I try to do is to maintain a spirit of awareness or consciousness. So many times we're not as conscious of what's going on around us. We're not aware. We're not alert to what's going on. And if we're not, we miss things. And so often the very things that's really imperative to your trajectory, we miss because we're not aware. Or we have blinders on. We have tunnel vision. We have our goals set for something and how it's going to happen. And as a result, we miss other opportunities that will present itself to take us to where we're supposed to be, maybe even quicker than what we've even anticipated. You never know. But being aware, awareness to spirit, being aware of consciousness, of being aware and alert is so important that things begin to feed itself to you, and it helps to pave the way in the direction that we're supposed to go. And so that's what I try to maintain is a spirit of awareness. Now, the topic is for tonight's video is toxic relationships part 2, fathers and sons. It is an offshoot of Kirk Franklin and Carrie Ann Franklin, which we talked about in one of the videos last week or early in the week, I should say. And I want to do part 2 of that because here's why. I don't think Spirit is done with conveying the message relative to uh, the importance of relationship. Not so much. I don't know if I'm going to be talking more, excuse me, about toxic relationship as I'm going to be talking about relationship in general. One of the most toxic relationships that seem to happen is with fathers and sons, especially in the Black community, but not only in the Black community. But fathers and sons have a difficult relating to each other for various reasons. But I'm not going to get into the broke piece, but I want to talk about, because only you know that. You know why it's broke. And you know what you need to do to help fix it, or do what's in your power to fix it. That's all you can really do. But make sure you're doing what you can do. I've been the whole Kirk and Carrie Ann thing is really just a type and shadow of what's going on in many homes and in many relationships between fathers and sons. It is not indicative of Carrie Ann and Kurt. It's not. So we can stop pointing our fingers at them. Stop pointing your finger at Carrie Ann, because there are plenty of Carrie Anns out there that have suffered, right? There are many of Carrie Anns, kids who have suffered from the abuse and the neglect, right? And the abnormal use of their parent. On the flip side of that same coin, there is parents who have been unappreciated, taken advantage of, and abused by their children, disrespected as well. So relationship is the key. So how do we improve relationship? Well, not only have I been looking at the situation with Carrie Ann and Kirk, I was watching this movie, and it's called All Day and a Night, and it stars a young man that played in Moonlight and The Equalizer 2 with Denzel Washington, Ashton Sanders, and he stars next to a favorite actor of mine by the name of Jeffrey Wright, who starred in Shaft back in the day, and he played the gang leader, the drug dealer. Jeffrey Wright is an outstanding actor. Both of these men are. But in this movie, it also dealt with the relationship between a father and a son. And I think if you get a chance to see it on Netflix, you might want to check it out. All Day and a Night, with Ashton Sanders and Jeffrey Wright, about how the relationship between the father and son they have love for one another, but the problem is how to express it. And in so many places where a child may see something as abusive, a parent may see it as preparatory. They may see it as a requisite, a prerequisite, it's something that's needful for survival, and the child may not see it that way. So it's some of that in this movie. It's a really a movie about how a father and a son love each other, but fail to understand how to really express it in a functional way. I think it's neat. It's a really really good film. And then there's another series I was looking at. One of my and if he's lucky he's married to her, but Gabrielle Union, who's one of my favorite actresses, is starring in a series next to Jessica Alba. It's called LA's Finest, and it is a spinoff of Bad Boys, where she plays the brother or the sister of Martin Lawrence's character. But this is a series about how her relationship in this particular episode, how her relationship and her relationship with her and her father was affected by the relationship of the fathers had with the mother, and how his infidelity and breaking her heart led to her wanting to kill his heart. So another very good uh, opportunity to look at how fathers and daughters and fathers, how your past and your choices affect your daughter. Both are very very good at so here in the last few days, I've been inundated with some and there's been other things, but I just wanted to just pick out these three as being how you need to be aware of how spirit is trying to get your attention in areas. And so I thought I was going to be moving on to another topic tonight, but I'm evidently not. So I'm going to be talking about toxic relationships part 2, fathers and sons. And when we talk about relationships, let's one thing I tell my clients all the time is it's important that we define terms so that we are on the same sheet of music, because oftentimes we can easily be on two separate sheets of music and have two different ideas relative to a topic or to a concept, so that we can sync ourselves around a specific topic on and meaning of that topic. We have a better chance of communicating and better helping one another to gain understanding, especially understanding of where the other person is mentally, spiritually. So it is important. It's really important. So let's look at the word relationship. Relationship. And so, or relations. Let's look at relations first. The word relations is actually comes from a Latin prefix, or I'm sorry, a Latin root that means to carry, lat, which means to carry. That's what the root of the word relation is. It's to carry. And the prefix re is where we get the word to do again, to do over, or to back. Okay, so we put relate together, then what we're talking about to do over, to recarry, to carry again, to carry again. The that's the prefix. The suffix, I should say. The suffix is the tion, and that means it's the action of. So if we put it all together with the prefix being re, which means to do over or to redo or do again, the root word, which is to carry, and the suffix, which means the action of. So relationship is the action of recarrying or redoing. So when we talk about a relationship and it's the redoing of something, that means something happen that cause us to have to redo it. So, and that's what relationships are. Relationships are things where there are going to be difficulties. There's going to be misunderstandings, right? There's going to be times where we're going to be taken advantage of. But that doesn't mean that we don't have a relationship. So many times people don't want to get hurt, so they don't enter into any relationship. But that's what relationship is. It's the do-over. It's the recarry. Maybe they dropped you, but that doesn't mean that they don't want to recarry you. They made a mistake, an error. Everybody does it. To err is human. We all make mistakes. And because we all make mistakes, we have to look at it in line with the fact that we make mistakes. We don't dot every I and cross every T. And because we don't, we can't take for granted and X people out. Right now, what we're experiencing is this council culture, this culture that wants to cancel everyone or anyone that says anything that they don't like. They want to get rid of you because they don't like the way that you speak about them. It's not what other people say about you. It's what you say about yourself. Now, if what they say about you affects you so, it's because you feel that there's some validity to what they're saying. Because if there wasn't, you wouldn't be concerned about it. So if we're going to have a relationship, understand you're going to fall, you're going to be dropped, you're going to be mishandled. You're going to even be abused and mistreated and misused. It's a part of the human condition. Everyone experiences it. But we can't let that stop us from relationship. And now, when we talk about relationship, there are all kinds of relationships. There are occupational relationships. There are business relationships. There are entrepreneurial relationships. There are educational relationships. There are romantic relationships. There are religious relationships. There are social relationships. There are organizational relationships. And there are parental relationships. There are so many types of relationships. And that's the ground that I want to really touch on, is that everything, it stems from relationship. Everything. And so if you are having trouble, or you were reared in a home like me, where relationship was not the strongest thing that was really taught, then I had to learn how to have relationships in other spots and venues. In sports, I learned how to have relationships, athletic relationships, how to relate with another man, another person. In school, I had to learn how to relate. In the military, in college, in grad school. I mean, all these different areas, on my jobs, in my businesses, had to learn how to relate with people. It's work. And what I found is this: most relationships that you learn from comes from failure, not success. You learn more from failure than you do from success. But the lessons that you learn aren't to shield you from or stop you from going into relationships with people, but to educate you how to act within or allow others to act within the relationship, not to stop going into relationships. No. So many people are not going, and when we start talking about relationships, especially when we talk about relationships with a father and a son, so often what happens is, because the father wasn't in the house as the child grew up, as was mine, and because of that, there's some resentment that could easily be a part of that relationship. There could be a part of the relationship where you heard negative things constantly about the missing father, to the point that not only do you dislike him, you dislike being a male. Not only do you dislike him, but do you hear me? Not only do you dislike him as an individual, you dislike yourself because you are a mirror of him. You have the same suit that he has. And so you hear so much negativity about that gender that you too begin to dislike the very suit that you wear. It happens. So relationship is a verb. It's an action It's an action word, given not to receive. No, it's not to receive, it's to give. So relationship is for you to give, to carry someone, to recarry someone again. So you have to pick up your son. Again, fathers. It's not an easy thing to do, especially when they're grown. But believe it or not, he's still your son. And not only is he still your son, he's your son that's probably in most cases been wounded much earlier in life. So his emotional growth has been stunted. And so as a grown man, not a grown male, but as a grown man, it's time for you to bite the bullet and go back and recarry your son as best you can. And maybe he doesn't want you to recarry him, but at least do the best that you can so that you're not the one. You're not the one. And so, yes, there's so many things that happen that cannot be changed. That goes with everyone. That goes with everyone. Everyone has regrets. Wish that they could do things over. But we can't. We can't. All we can do is to do better from the point in which we are at now. That's all we can do. The thing about relationship is that it's an act of service. To recarry someone is an act of service. We don't want to serve people. We want to be saved. We want to be served. Why do we want to be served? Because we're kings. Kings get served. You get waited on. I'm a king. I'm a queen. I'm a gangster. I'm a diva. I'm all these things that you're not, because you want to be served and you don't want to serve. But the thing is that the Creator sent you here to serve. You are sent here to serve. I want to take a moment and just stop here and ask you if you would you help me out? Would you like? Would you share? And would you hit the notification bell so that when I have new content available, that you'll be notified of it? Help me to help people. It may not be for you, but help me to help others. That's all I'm asking. It's not a lot. I'm not asking anything more than that. To just hit a couple buttons. And if you would do that, I would greatly appreciate it. I want to also talk about one of the areas that I'm affiliated with. I like to read, but I don't have time to read the way that I used to. So what I've done is become quite active with Audible. Audible is where you can buy books, and the book is basically read to you. And it gives you the opportunity to read without reading, but to get the book. And so I've been doing that for a while now, and it's been very helpful. And it helps me to read more than 1, 2, 3 books a week. I may be reading several books at a time. But Audible is a really, really great tool that I would recommend to any and everybody. One of the books that I'm reading right now is a book called 12 Rules for Life, An Antidote to Chaos by Jordan B. Peterson. Outstanding book. I would recommend it. I would highly recommend it that you read this book about the 12 rules for life. I've been following that individual, Jordan Peterson, for a little while now, and he has some interesting concepts a lot along the lines that I've been talking about for the past decade. We think similarly in some areas. We think alike in some areas, not in all, but in some. But so I would recommend that book. And one of the things I would also recommend is that you recommend other people. Recommend other people. There are some people out there that are doing some really, really great great work, and I've recommended some that I think are and I'm going to continue to recommend some, um, and just toot some other people's horns and allow them to know how much you appreciate them. Um, but back to the relationship. That was a commercial. Back to relationship. When we talk about relationship, the key to relationship is self-denial. It's the ability to put others before yourself. And if you're able to do that, people will understand what type of person that you are. That you're not selfish, because selfish people, who likes or wants to be around or serve selfish people? But we are to serve. And one of the things I need people to understand is, if you can't start servicing at home or serving at home, you can't serve anywhere else. But you can only do what you can do. That's what I want you to understand. Do your best to provide service in your home. Start there. So many times we want to serve other people, but the real service starts at home. The real service starts at home. And so as you continue to go about your daily lives, one of the things I think that we need to understand is that those people who are looking to be served aren't really looking for relationship. They're looking for servitude. What is servitude? Servitude is someone who sees the person serving them as a subject and someone that is below them, and that they are more powerful than the one that serves. That's the problem. Servants are subject to individuals that are more powerful. And so when we meet people that want to be served, it's because they think they're better than you. They think they're more powerful than you. What you sow, you reap. If you sow servitude, or you sow wanting to serve others, then others will serve you in the areas that you need. But if you're always looking for someone to serve you, others are going to want to and demand the same thing of you. We are not here to be served. Your purpose isn't here to be served. You're here to serve it to others, like a waiter would serve you a meal, or a waiter would serve you a drink. The 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 idea of servitude is one of serving one with gladness, not expecting anything in return. That's what serve. And so when we serve, that carrying the relationship with our sons, fathers, we shouldn't want anything in return. I hear, well, I want you got to respect me. Well, did you earn it? Did you earn it? By virtue of you being of giving birth, does not make you a father. So if you haven't earned the right to be a father, then understand he's going to treat you like any other dude, rightfully so. And you have to respect that, especially if your son is grown. So you can't expect anything of him. Now, if he offers it, that's something different. But if he doesn't offer it, accept that he's going to treat you just like he would treat any other man. And if that's the case, he's going to carry it. Then that's the way it's going to be. It's okay. I know who I am, and so does he. But if he chooses to not to carry it in that way, then it's okay. It has to be okay. You know why? Because you are a grown man, not caught up in your feelings, but understanding from a mental perspective, from a cognitive perspective, why he feels that way. You weren't there. You weren't there to offer fatherly advice. You weren't there to be a part of those activities that he enjoys. He had to teach himself, or someone else had to teach him. So wear that, accept that. But at the same token, understand who you are. He wouldn't be here without you. But yes, you failed. Own it. Who hasn't? Who hasn't? And then just hope that he doesn't make the same mistakes that you have. And encourage him to not do that. Now, sons, what you've got to learn how to do is to forgive. You've got to learn to forgive. Okay, he wasn't everything that you would have liked, but neither were you. And him not being all that he could be, is it really deserving that you not be all that you can be right now? No, no, he needs to be carried too. We carry him because he realized he made mistakes, and he's trying now to make amends. Are you a man or are you still a boy? Boys still carry grudges. Men mature past those occurrences that invoked hurt, injury, wounds. We have to learn how to heal of those wounds, and we do that by talking and exchanging, and especially with the one who did it. But there's a way to do it. You don't have to be disrespectful. You don't have to be. You can still get your emotions across and get your thoughts and ideas across without just being angry, emotional, and disrespectful. You don't have to. But if you got to carry it that way, fathers understand that that's the way he chooses to carry it. Just because he chooses to carry it that way, show him how men carry it. A man's not controlled by his emotions. He has them. Excuse me. And he does live by it and in them. But they don't govern the way he carries and does business, how he lives his life in a global perspective. Emotions have their place, but men, we bring the logical uh, equation to the table. And so if you're doing that, then do that. It's okay. Be logical. Understand why he's doing and talking to you the way, sideways out of his mouth, because he's hurt. He's hurt. He's wounded. He's angry. All those things are okay. Be a man. Take those shots. Take them. Don't get angry. Don't get resentful. Own it. Take the hit and own it. That's the important piece. So, sons, it's important for a son to understand that his father is human and makes mistakes. Just like you as a father are human and you're going to make mistakes. If you can't forgive your father, understand that when you do and treat your son the way that you have, your son won't forgive you either. And then some say, well, I'll never do to my son what my father did to me. You sure about that? Are you sure about that? Because so often, unknowingly, we are a reflection of our fathers. Whether you like it or not, you sound like him. Your mannerisms are like him. Your perspective on life is a lot like him. even though he wasn't there. You know why? Because you're a part of him. You have his DNA. So yes, you're a lot like him, whether you want to be or not. So with that, treat him the way that you would want to be treated. If your son was in the same situation and you were the father, treat your father the way you would want your son to treat you if you were in your father's shoes. That's what's important. Because if you don't get it right, it will come back. Sons, it will come back to you. I know what I'm talking about. And there's men out there that can testify to what I'm saying. You know it. You know it's true. But it's okay. Today's a new day. Start today, man. Start forgiving your dad today. Start forgiving him today. Reach out to him. Don't duck him. That's what children do. Adults don't do that. Talk to him. However way you need to. But consider how you want your son to talk to you. Toxic relationships. Fathers and sons. We've got to fix this. We've got to fix this. And the only way we can fix it is to talk. Not yell, not scream, not blame, not make excuses, but talk. Talk about how we can do things differently from this point on. Talk about how we can come together. How we can do things differently, better. Anyway, I think that's about all I want to talk about relative to this topic. I think that's where I'm going to leave it. I think I'm been released from it. I think we'll know next week, right? Next week we're gonna be looking to add our chat room, working with our chat room more, and hopefully using Zoom and YouTube together. It's been difficult trying to get these two to work together, and hopefully we can get that done, and also open the chat room. Hopefully you'll come in, and some of you will begin to chat with us. We're going to continue to provide content and relevant content, I hope. So, thank you for joining. Thank you for being here for this session. I'm greatly, greatly, greatly grateful and appreciative to you for doing it. So, until the next time we come together, this is Dr. G. Alpha Palmer. Peace.